Hey everybody, how's it going? You are watching Shred Sessions. This is episode 12. My name is Drew Creel. I'm a guitar player. I play in a death metal band called Zaphon, and this is my show. And today we have Sunmancer from Atlanta, Georgia. The entire band is here. Dudes, thank you for being here. This is sweet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Heck yeah. It's a long drive. You guys have been driving all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4-hour drive now, 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. What part of Atlanta are you guys all in?
We're all in separate parts.
Separate parts?
Yeah, that's why we just call it
around.
Atlanta, because we're all, like, Justin is actually closer to Athens.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're all spread apart.
Well, let's do this before we kind of get into different topics and talking about the band and metal and music and stuff. Why don't each of you guys, I want you to introduce yourself, tell us your full name, what you do in Sunmancer, and then tell us what your Chipotle order is, your go-to. That's important for band members.
Yeah.
So let's start with Kyle.
Sure. I'm Kyle. I play Masquerade, and I play guitar. And if I was to order from Chipotle, I would probably get steak. I'm not a big Chipotle guy.
That's all.
Just steak.
Just steak.
Yeah, just
Buy
steak.
it. Just.
Yeah.
You just
steak.
lost
Just
With the hottest
pile-
salsa
Yeah, you
on
did.
top.
Oh yeah, a
It's
pile
about
of
the time
steak.
to turn this podcast off.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I'm Jeremy Harlan. I play guitar, and I'd probably get whatever Dan's getting.
Yeah, probably so. I'm Dan Nelson. I'm the bass player of Sunmancer. I'm a 3-taco guy, no beans. Normally steak,
Tacos.
heavy on that pico.
Nice.
But I like simple Dan orders, so I don't go crazy on the toppings.
All right. Cool. I did not expect a taco guy to even be here, so this is huge.
I like to grace people with my presence, my taco presence.
I am Justin Maslick. I do vocals for Sunmancer. I like the burrito bowl, half chicken, half steak, sour cream, cheese, lettuce, all that good stuff. Pico, whatever.
That sounds good. Mine's Pico. My name's Pat Snyder. I play drums in Sunmancer. And I also kind of handle the recording duties.
Excellent.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool.
Pretty good. Yeah.
What's your Chipotle order?
No Pico. What he said.
Okay.
Just no
What
Pico.
he said.
No
I like
Pico.
a little cilantro rice too.
Couple of bowl boys.
Yeah, I'm a bowl boy. I don't know.
Shaking
Oh, boy.
No maters though. I could do
Well,
without the
that
maters.
that wrap on those burritos, it's like 1,000 calories or 800 calories. It's like
Oh, dude,
crazy.
give it
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So you guys are in Nashville today, and then you've got another show in Alabama on Sunday. So is this the first time that Sunmancer has played Nashville?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. First time. This is the first time I've actually even been to Nashville. So
What?
yeah. Yep.
You never went on vacation as a kid?
Nope. I mean,
Okay.
I went on vacation as a kid, but not in Nashville.
No,
We
Okay.
could go to the beach and shit. You know,
Yeah.
but
Heck yeah, man. All right.
yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I'm going to be at the show later with these guys. So I just thought it'd be cool that you guys would come in person and you were willing to do that. I know it's a lot of work. It's extra driving. You're pulling a trailer. So it means a lot that you guys are here. I just want you to all to know that. And,
Yeah, dude, no problem.
if you are a fan of this band, please share this episode, like the episode, drop a comment. All the engagement helps. All the algorithms are kind of leaned towards that. So, please do all of those things and show these guys some love. So
That'd be awesome.
So where have you guys played? Justin, where have you guys played in Atlanta? What are some of the venues there? And what's the scene like? What's the metal scene like in Atlanta?
We've played Drunken Unicorn, which is a tiny little venue in Atlanta. That's really the only venue in Atlanta that we played. We played outside of Atlanta in Gainesville called Blackstrap. But as a band, we're fairly new, so we've only played this is our first year as an active band. So, but we're actually playing another venue that's new in Atlanta called Culture Shock, but that's going to be in the beginning of the year. I don't know if we should even say that right now because it's not even announced.
Yeah, whatever.
But
Doesn't
whatever.
matter. It will be announced.
But all of us in other bands, we've played Masquerade, the old Masquerade. We've probably played several venues in Atlanta and all around Atlanta. Now it's probably not even, a lot of those venues aren't even there anymore, like Swayze's and
Yeah.
the 7 venue and
Oh dang.
The 7 venue is legendary,
Oh,
man.
man, I
The
forgot.
Movement.
I've slept overnight
What
there
was it,
several
the Movement
times.
in
Nice.
Loganville.
Taking a shower in the sketchy shower back
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
There's not really a lot of like legit venues anymore in Atlanta. Well, I mean, there's Masquerade, but it's in underground Atlanta now, and they got the Altar little add-on.
Yeah, I just added a new room at the Masquerade. I'd love to play that, hopefully sometime next year. And
is it like Heaven and Hell or something like that?
Yeah, it's Heaven, Purgatory, and Hell, and they moved it to another place. It was this weird atrium where the rooms are just other little spots.
They're on the same floor. It used to be like a
Old
3-story
mill.
thing where the biggest room was on the top floor.
That shook
And then-
anytime you were dancing around in there.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But now everything's on one floor now. Everything, the vibe is definitely different. All the gear is nice and new, so it's kind of cool. Like to go in and hear a show, and you're like, oh dang, like the lights look good. Brand new line array.
It's exciting.
But
That's cool.
The vibe's kind of gone, but you get give and take.
yeah. A lot of people complain about how they moved from the historic spot to now in underground Atlanta, but honestly, I like it. The parking over there is better. The old one, you would literally have to park on the street and fight homeless people on the way in and get stabbed. But now it's like they have this giant parking deck that literally walks you straight to the venue. So I actually really like the new Masquerade, but that's the main spot, like the main club that you're going to see bands like us or bands like above, or much bigger than us,
Right.
All of our favorite bands will be playing there. So
Dude, for a long time, the Masquerade it's like the metal venue of the Southeast. And so a lot of bands would skip over Nashville. But more recently, as Nashville's grown, there's a lot more bands that they'll play. What is that? Marathon Music Works is kind of like the big like warehouse type venue that a lot of the metal shows happen at. So
nice.
But for a long time, anytime like a band that I would like would announce a show, it'd always be at the Masquerade. I'd be like, oh man, 4-hour drive. Like, I don't know if I can pull that off.
There was a big venue out here that we played here with Plea for Purging a couple times.
Rocket Town or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocketown was a central kind of hub for like the metal scene.
That was a nice venue, right?
It was really nice.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It still exists, but I just don't think they do metal shows. In fact, I was kind of around the scene. I played in As Hell Retreats. And
I remember that.
there's this kind of
His face.
yeah, man. I just played guitar in that band for the last year. I didn't write any music or anything. I was just touring guitar player. So were you a fan of the band?
No, I just like Volition is like one of my favorite, like in that era of Brian Hood mixes. That was like that record was very good, very solid in terms of the production. That was one of my favorite ones he did.
Yeah, Brian's amazing, man.
And I mean musically too, but that record sonically is like
it's great.
Yeah,
a lot of people love that record, and it was an honor to be in that band during that time and play the 7-string, and try to do some cool moves, and move around a little bit.
I can't believe we've made it this far and that hasn't come up once.
Yeah,
That's
right.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
we've
didn't
been here
even
for an
know that.
hour almost.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
It was back in 2012, man. That's actually what brought me to Nashville. I lived with Tyler Riley for like 6 months, like on and off the road.
Crazy.
He's a homie of mine. I haven't really talked with him in a while, but he really helped me get kind of plugged into the scene here, and his family used to cook food for me, and they kind of took care of me when this was like when I was 23 or 24 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, now Tyler is out there with Gideon, killing it. They're in Europe right now.
Nice.
Yep.
They played in France. But Tyler, if you're watching this, you need to come on the show, man.
Yeah, get on the show.
So, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, Volition was a great record, and I got to hang out with Brian Hood and kind of see what he does, and I was there for a few tracking sessions with Era.
Oh wow!
I got to hang out with those guys before they were like a big time band.
That's how you know Alan, right?
Yeah, that's in fact, As Hell Retreats did a brief tour with Alan when Alan was the guitar player in Era.
Oh wow!
And we've kind of kept up
Small
over the years.
world.
Small world for all of us.
Yeah, dude, that's
Small
crazy.
world.
Alan Rigdon, man, what a G.
Apparently he's coming
dude.
out to the show tomorrow to hang out with us.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool,
Oh, is it really?
man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where does he live now?
In Gadsden, where we're playing.
Oh, okay.
Gadsden,
So he's in
Alabama,
Alabama.
yeah.
Okay, sweet, man.
Yeah, here's his address. We're going to tell you right now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll put that in the comment section
Sorry,
below
Alan.
for you guys.
But I think
What?
that might have been around the same time where we disbanded me and Kyle's old band Broadcast, and then Alan joined Era because he was on Impulse and Augment.
Yeah, it's probably that same time.
I just remember sitting down like before shows and watching him like warm up and play, and I couldn't even conceive of like how he plays guitar. Like I just don't think of guitar the way that he does. And so watching him like play these riffs and write those riffs, I was just like blown away by that. He wrote some amazing tunes, man.
Yeah, those
Like,
two records are amazing.
Yeah,
I like them.
very good. Yeah, very
Yeah,
solid.
Era's awesome. And I think I've seen Jesse Cash around Nashville here and there at coffee shops. I'll be like, yo, dude, you happen to remember me? Like,
Nice. Yeah, now
but,
that you're famous, man, do you remember me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're killing it.
So for Sunmancer, let's talk about how this band came together. And I know, like Kyle, you write most of the music, or Kyle and
Well,
Jeremy.
we kind of all contribute.
Okay.
Yep.
The first EP, it was material that I had, kind of prior to the band getting together. But the new stuff that we're writing, I mean, there's stuff that Pat, as a drummer, he wrote all the guitars for one of the songs that's we're gonna release early next year. The next one that's about to come out in like 2 weeks, Lower Cavalier. I think Jeremy and Dan wrote all that. So yeah, no egos here. Everyone contributes. And
That's
we make
awesome,
fun.
man.
We make fun of each other for crappy riffs.
Yeah, you'll definitely get tore up in the group chat, for sending in something or reusing a riff and you didn't realize it. Hey man, it's actually the last song that we just released. So
That is actually
Sounds exactly like what you sent the last time.
yeah,
A little bit of recycling going on. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, the first EP, the way it all started was basically, I got hooked up with Kyle and Justin. They were wanting to start a band. We had a drummer that we all knew, and he wanted to get us connected. And so we met them, and he actually lived in Alabama. And I actually just got these guys to come over to my house, and we met. He showed me a bunch of material. I went ahead and learned it. Him and Justin came over, hung out, recorded a couple riffs. I started, programming drums to it right away. In the beginning, it was all he had was Guitar Pro tabs. So no actual demo.
Habit, right?
Yeah,
Or tab it, whatever. Doesn't matter.
I had exported the tabs to MIDI.
Is
So
that
it
how you
sounded
write
like the-
music, Kyle? Like,
That's how I
with-
used to.
With Guitar
Now-
Pro or tabs?
Yeah, that's how I used to write. It would JB from August Burns Red had introduced me to Tabit.
Yeah.
And it changed my life.
Yeah.
I don't use Tabit as much anymore because now when I write, I just will record into Studio One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tabit was a huge part of my writing process back in the day. I think for all the broadcasts, I did everything with Tabit.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot from different metal guitar players. Like Jason Richardson for a long time was using like Guitar Pro to like write his stuff, and I think it's I find it to be helpful if I'm sitting there and I come across some arpeggios or something that I will not remember. I'll just like open up a session and plug
Oh,
it
yeah,
in.
Tab
exactly,
it out,
man.
yeah.
It can be kind of an intimidating program when you first like get into it, but you can really navigate it well. Like you just need to spend time with Guitar Pro.
Yeah, he's pretty quick at it. I absolutely hate tabbing things out. I went to music school in my early 20s, and the notation class was by far my least favorite. I didn't like it. I was fine with reading music and sight reading and doing all that, but like sitting down and notating things out, and then having the guitar teacher play what you notated, and it sounds nothing like what it's supposed to. At least with like Guitar Pro, like it'll fix it for you or tell you where it's not working and all that. But yeah, now I think mainly what we do is kind of he'll write riffs. I'll learn what I can by ear, or I'll send him videos of how to play it. With his stuff that he sends me, I'll just slow it down, and he writes crazy guitar shit. Our
So
drummer,
you're a guitar player too?
he's a hell of a guitar player. Man.
Not any of that. I can hang, but no, it's
Well, you write all the Hollower stuff, right?
Well, I write stuff that's like conventionally easier for like a drummer to play, so I don't like hard pick everything. So like both of my hands are like active because that's like rhythmically what they feel like they should do. So that's challenging. I like stuff that you guys write is challenging for me because you're down, like up and down picking everything.
Right.
It's like probably a little weird for someone else to like pick up a riff or something that I would write because it's like it's not always doing that. It's a lot of just weird placement of with your left hand.
And that definitely is like challenging, like learning it by ear. And I've been playing with Pat, or like we've been messing around and doing music together since we were like 16, like on and off.
15
so
years, yeah.
Yeah, so like I know kind of what he goes for when he's playing, so I can kind of start somewhere. Kyle's was more like I had to learn how he played, but now it's like when he sends me something, like I can pick it up quick. because I kind of know what his go-to is and like where his ear's taking him and kind of what chord shapes he likes to move through and stuff. So now we basically just record the ideas and then send them to each other rather than having to tab them out.
He's a guitar player too.
Dan's a good guitar player. Yeah, that's kind of the cool thing about writing with this band is there's no shortage of material. It's more of like, out of all of these songs, like which ones we really want to like pursue, or like we don't want to have too many songs that sound like this, so let's use Pat's song, or Kyle, he cranks out stuff fast, so it's like we already got 3 of Kyle's songs. Now we got to start mixing it up. Now me and Dan will write a song, and he'll send me riffs and. We'll be driving home from work like during the week, just talking about like where we think the next one should be or like what it should go to. And but yeah, the writing with this band is extremely easy. Whereas like other bands that I've played in, it's like I was the guy, like I had to write everything. And then you go and you do a whole record, like now you're completely juiced. So like you don't have anything left, So like there's nothing in the well. Now it's like, I'll go months without writing things because all I'm doing is learning their stuff and trying to get those ready to play live and stuff. And so then when I do sit down to write, it's like it can start flowing. I can crank out a whole song in one sitting and then not have to worry about, there's no stress for me to have to write something else.
Yeah, there's like enough overlap with everybody too, which is nice, but enough difference in style to make it really have a lot of depth. Like our new EP, I feel like has a lot of layer to it.
Oh yeah, different than the first EP. The first EP was just me and Kyle doing what we like to do, and then getting him involved and has definitely widened the sound a lot. So I think the new EP, you're gonna hear everybody's take on what we like to do, so it makes us a much more well-rounded band.
And it kind of takes the edge, like you were saying, kind of takes the edge off of, or like the stress of like constantly having to write stuff. Now you can focus on other things, like maybe not disassembling songs, but like, oh, how could I incorporate, like now take this song that only Kyle wrote. Some of these riffs are kind of like maybe we could use them somewhere else and they would fit better, where Jeremy writes this verse riff and it's like, oh, that completes the song. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, we'll plug that in.
And it takes the stress out of like constantly having to be like, oh, we just have to like get this song final, like get this exact version of this song finalized. It's like we have plenty of outlets to take the songs in now. We have a good system in place where we just kind of upload riffs to Dropbox or Google Drive or wherever. I know Kyle hates Google or Dropbox.
Yeah.
Actually, everybody hates Dropbox except for me. But
I'm not a fan either. Google Drive.
I'm the only one.
Yeah, me and Kyle use the Google Drive.
I think it's so easy, man.
Oh, yeah, it's
great.
Justin
Yeah.
uses Dropbox too. But well, no, I don't mind either one. Dropbox is the one that I've started paying for, so I'm like,
Yeah,
I
might as well use it.
no matter what, I've already leaned into it too far. But we got a good system now, and it definitely sounds like. Yeah, like there's much more depth in the sound. Like the songs sound a lot. One of my big pet peeves is having songs starting in the same way throughout a record. Have like just the song structures being almost identical all the way through. It's like it's a huge pet peeve of mine as a listener. So it's like when now that we have so many varied songwriting styles, we never really run into that. Like it's become a lot easier to work around that.
No, I noticed that listening to your stuff. I mean, your songs go in all these different directions, but it's still very cohesive, and I love like the harmonic minor, like metalcore ripping, you know. And there's just some really cool moments in your music. And you guys recently released a tune called Doom Temple. Is that right?
Yep.
Justin, maybe you could talk about how that song comes together, like from a lyrical standpoint. Like, how do you generate your lyrical ideas, or do you guys write lyrics?
Justin does. He takes care of all the.
Okay.
It's kind of been a staple of the band where
they do all the music. I do all the words.
Yeah, where it's like I told him like day one, like I'm not gonna get in your way when it comes to lyrics. I know that I'm not gonna write any better lyrics. I'll give him a little bit like critiques or whatever, but for the most part, he comes in with it. We like it. We roll with it.
Yeah, really the only thing that we do that's like regarding lyrical content is when we come up with a demo idea, we give it the dumbest name possible.
That's always fun.
Like every other band,
like big honking ass.
Yeah, so it's like when Justin gets his hands on it, he has to refer to it as that stupid name. So it kind of
Until he gets
forces
it done,
him
yeah.
to finish faster.
Motivation. Yeah, it's motivation to finish it and not use
He
it.
has to come up with a meaningful lyric or something like
That's
that.
right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because this song was called Stinky Fingers.
Oh, yikes.
yeah, that's all call right there.
Yep.
It's painful to say that crap. I think we just started calling SF for a while.
Yep. Yep.
But Dune Temple is actually about some like health issues that I actually have with that I found out at the beginning of the year. Was just like doing a routine like physical with blood work, and like my liver enzymes were like through the roof, and I had to do all these like crazy like lab work, like blood work all the time, like getting a biopsy, a freaking ultrasound, and then they figured out I have like autoimmune hepatitis, and now I'm like on all the, and like if I didn't catch it quick, it would have like totally just destroyed my liver. Like luckily it's been in the early stages, so I'm drinking non-alcoholic beers now. But yeah, that's what this song is about. And my wife, she got rheumatoid arthritis. Like she was diagnosed with it like a couple months before I was. So we both got these crazy autoimmune issues that are like trying to kill our body. So that's why I wanted to, I chose to write about that with this song. But yeah, I mean, all my lyrics are all different. This one was in particular like different than what I usually write, because usually it's just like bad relationships with people, or like, I don't know, like end of the world type stuff, or
That's
I don't
my
know,
favorite
or
topic.
like battling with like, just current affairs, or like religious stuff. I don't know, just something that whatever comes to my mind. But I use a lot of metaphors, so it's not like so blatantly obvious what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Where does the name Sunmancer come from? Like, how did you guys come up with that?
We needed a band
That
name,
was
baby.
a painful process of coming up
with
with
band
names.
name is the hardest.
Well,
man.
I was like, we had like lists, and this was with me, Jeremy, Kyle, and the other guy that was supposed to be our drummer. But we were like just shooting names back and forth, and it was like everything we found that was like sounded cool. I mean, it was already taken, and then I was just like, let's start mashing words together, and I mean that's where that came from. I mean, we were like, yeah, necromancer, like. Maybe use sun, and he was like, "Oh, that sounds like the Nightman." It's always sunny in Philadelphia. Dayman, that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, I just literally just put those words together, and I've tried to look online for it, and there was like some weird avatar on Reddit for like some like fantasy game. It was like one person used that name in some reference years ago, and that was it. So I was like, well, this seems original enough.
Hopefully he doesn't sue us.
Yeah.
I think he was
cool
using
name.
it in a context for a game for some
some Magic the Gathering
yeah,
thing.
World of Warcraft thing. So I don't
Makes me
think
like it even more. Yeah.
yeah.
It definitely sounds like a Magic the Gathering.
And I'm not even a gamer. I mean, these dudes are more of a gamer than I do. I just like, oh, the name sounds cool, you know? I mean, this dude's all about Oblivion, and
Oh, I love video games.
he like turned off his phone for like a week or whatever when that new one came out, right? Like years ago, back in like
Skyrim. Yeah.
Nice.
the Elder Scrolls or something.
Yeah.
Don't bug me.
Yeah, me and Kyle get into a lot of nerdy stuff. You know, we bond on that a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you played Elder Scrolls for a week straight and like didn't talk to anyone?
It might have been a
Man,
weekend.
probably longer than that.
When he first got it, I think.
I'm so addicted to video games. There's this game coming out in February, and I'm gonna take time off.
Can't
and-
stop talking about it either, dude. Every time I see him.
I tell him about it all
What
the
game?
time. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I can't wait for it. But
Is it the same studio
They're
that does those other ones?
no, it's
Yeah, but it's like medieval fantasy. Or it's not even fantasy, right?
role-play?
no, yeah,
It's like real-
it's like a medieval life simulator, but it's a role playing game. But yeah, these guys are gonna have a hard time getting a hold of me when that game comes out.
Yeah.
When is it?
February 11th.
Yeah, didn't
So
you?
no shows. No shows.
No shows
Yeah.
during that
Didn't you
time.
take?
Let me be clear. No shows in that time.
Didn't you take like a week off when the new Final Fantasy VII came out last year? But you ended up using it like to set up all the new gear.
Oh
the
yeah,
tour.
I was kind of bummed about that because I want to play the game, but instead I had to learn an X32.
Yeah, gets an ABR tour offer, is bummed.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
man.
bummed out because now he
I
can't.
was
play
not
Final
bummed about
Fantasy.
that.
Yeah,
Just had to learn a lot of new gear. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had taken a week off because originally I was going to go to Germany, and we got the offer to go out with ABR, and the original trip was like 2 weeks long, and decided, well, I need to take some of the time off to go on this tour, so I canceled the trip, but decided to keep at least a week of my time off so I can start learning the that Behringer X32 and a bunch of other stuff that we were going to need to do
All
for
that was
our
like
in-ears.
Spur of the moment kind of thing. We're like, should we learn in-ear Milner
we
stuff?
we dropped a ton of money in a very short amount of time when ABR contacted us.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it though.
Yeah.
We have a similar setup in the bands that I play in, an X32 with, is it the LP16? I'm trying to think of the company that makes it. It's like this black playback box, and you load your tracks onto a USB drive and you plug it in there. And
Okay, so
we
no
just
DAW
use-
setup.
we
or
just
anything?
we don't.
Okay.
So you have like a laptop then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently
Yeah.
this LP16 thing, it's less likely to fail, you know, but once you start the song on that
It's going.
thing,
Yeah.
that's it, dog. Like
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
finish it.
I like the sound of reliability a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has the laptop ever gone down on you guys live? In the
I
set?
just recently got a
yeah.
new one.
We had some weird fumbles with the bass drop.
Well, that was because I accidentally
That was user error.
I had looped an active part.
User error.
Yeah.
User error.
Yeah, so
unintentional user error.
there's big bass drop, near the end of the song for the breakdown, and he had the loop thing. So when
From
it got
soundcheck.
to it from soundcheck, just to make sure that the bass drops are going
I
through.
mean, he did turn it
I
So
on.
when
didn't
it got
turn
to
the
that
loop
part
off.
in the DAW, it just.
This
Well,
is
everyone
during
enjoys
this is-
more
yeah,
bass
this was
drops.
during a show.
But
Yeah,
it was
right.
on downbeat. It was on a downbeat, so I doubt anybody but us noticed that
Yeah.
until it was like it's at the end of the song. So the next song kicks in, 10
Oh,
seconds
yeah.
after that, and like I'm like, something's not right. The click hasn't stopped, and the new one hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
We fixed that pretty quick,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it's
no,
still
it was
stressful.
like it was all within about
Oh yeah,
4 seconds.
That cranked up his trigger. So and it was like
That's
right
all we
before we
could
went
hear.
on.
That was
So-
also intentional
The-
user error.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
the whole first song, it's like all we can hear in our ears is. I was like, oh my god, dude,
Yeah,
I
it
can't
was
hear
loud.
anything.
That was a headache.
Yeah.
the things people don't realize is happening.
Yeah, that was one of those shows where we went and sound checked before like doors opened. So it's like the gear had been sitting there for hours. We're just literally just hanging out, drinking. We get on stage, and all of a sudden, like, okay, this is nothing like how we had it set up earlier, but we fixed it on the fly. We've never had to like stop a song or anything like that. So
Yeah,
that's the main goal. No train wrecks on stage. Is kind of what I say.
One of the reasons we use the DAW is so we have a light show as well that's programmed
Yeah.
with MIDI.
Very cool.
So have to have one of those tracks for it. Yeah, everything runs through there. And then we all use in-ears with
You guys
separate
got
mixers.
wireless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wireless guitars, so you can run around. Heck
Yep.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I like
this
to
guy's a
run around.
maniac on stage, dude. You'll see.
I can't wait.
He's all over
I
the
can't
place.
wait. You guys are not small dudes. Like you.
Thank you.
Kyle and Pat. Except for you, dog. Except for you, my guy. You got. Are
Wow,
you
no one's ever said that
6'5" or
about me.
6'4"?
I'm 6'6", but I just hide behind the drums. It's nice.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'm
you
not
gotta be
just
taller
sitting
now. I'm
down.
6'5", and you're like 3 inches. You could be like 6'8" or something.
See, this is
A
always
giant
the
man.
conundrum when you're describing your height to someone, because like the tall guys are like, they're always like, well, I'm 6'6", so you gotta be like
You
7
gotta be at
feet
least
tall.
7 foot tall.
And then like the shorter guys are like, no man, like you what are you, like 6'1", 6'2"? And I'm like, no, I think I'm a few inches taller than that.
I think I know how
like,
tall I am.
no, you're 6'1".
Nah, man, you're definitely. If I'm 6'3", then you got to be like 6'8".
No, I was just. You guys rolled up to my house. I was like, dang, you guys look like football players or hockey
right.
players.
That's right.
Oh, well,
Actually, he is a hockey
we
This
do
player.
guy
have-
plays hockey.
We do have one of
Yep.
the, yeah.
Yep.
So what's the name of your hockey team?
Well, I work for Delta, and Delta has a club team. So once a year they play a tournament. This is the first one I've been to. Happened to be in Nashville this year, so we kind of got lucky with this. So the tournament was from Wednesday to yesterday, and then show here today, and then tomorrow to Alabama, and then I'm off that Monday, so that'll be nice. But
You're really putting your body through the ringer, man.
I was
Playing hockey and metal.
When I say
yeah.
I was like sore, like very sore the day following. Like yesterday was, if we had won the prelim games, we would have won to the playoffs and then like competed against, to win the tournament. But we got knocked out in the round robin.
By Spirit, right?
No, Spirit wasn't in it.
They sound like they have a terrible team.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. Well, it's kind of weird because the hubs are kind of determine the teams, So where their hubs are, like United's based in Chicago. It's like, oh, those guys all
They're
freaking-
hockey
yeah.
boys.
Right,
yeah.
and Air
Or hockey-
Canada and stuff
Air,
like that.
Air Canada
yeah.
was in the
Get your
tournament.
ass
They
kicked
weren't in
by
our
those guys.
bracket, thankfully.
Oh,
but
there
like,
you go.
we would have had to play them eventually, but no, we played fairly well. But yeah, like going from that, my girlfriend was with me all day yesterday. I was just like, just everything hurts. It's just you don't use those muscles like this. And now I'm like turned around, and then it's like a different kind of full body workout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Smaller muscle groups, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How long is it? The hockey games within those tournaments?
12-minute stop clock. So they're long. It doesn't feel.
Okay.
It's they're like about an hour and a half long.
Damn.
You're only
Lots
doing
of-
this for 30 minutes today.
But it's constant. Like at least
Yeah.
it's like shifts. So in
Right.
hockey, you got 3 lines. Our team had 3 lines, so it's like you go hard for a minute and come off for 2 or 3
Yeah,
minutes.
that's right.
Mhm.
But it's
You can do
not
it.
like this.
I have faith in you.
Well,
Seems like a great activity to just stay in shape, and
it is, but
stay
it's,
healthy and keep moving and stuff.
it is. It's just I sent them a video. Like
Truck
after,
somebody, dude.
After,
It's also
after-
dangerous.
Buried him. Yeah.
Super dangerous.
Fighting on the rink.
After
Yeah.
Nice.
so it was like the end of the round robin. We knew we weren't gonna make it, so we're like, all right, we gotta just start. Like we gotta go out the right way.
Bust some ass, yeah.
So this guy in
So
United
you suplexed
team,
a guy from another airline.
I'll show
I'm just kidding.
kinda honestly.
No,
'Cause
dude,
he like
he got him good.
I'll show you the
Inject him
video.
to the ground.
But yeah, because some like once you could see it start to happen, so a bunch of people around like started taking a video of it, and the United guy like, grabbed the right wing, would not let him go in the video. So that's like I'm glad that's in the video, because that's really the only thing you see before I just come up and just bowl him over, dude. I just freaking
Oh, dude. Yeah, I
Like,
saw it. I was
he's-
like,
he's
damn, I didn't know
that
Pat
guy.
had that dog in him like that, man. I was
yeah. And then
impressed.
and then their whole bench like almost clears, and I'm like,
Oh,
all right,
gosh,
all right, all
dude.
right, all right, all right.
As a guitar player, I'm too afraid of doing stuff like that because I'll mess my hands up and I won't be able to play guitar anymore.
No, it was
you
just
ever
a-
worry about that, like breaking your limbs?
I did say something about. I was like, I just hope I don't like get seriously, and that would suck because I do have other more important obligations than
For sure.
being a bonehead on the rink,
Mhm.
That's fun though. That's cool that you guys
No, it's
fight
fun.
though. That's like
Well, it was
sick, man.
It was at the end of the game. Yeah, I looked at the ref. I was like, "You gonna kick me out now? There's a minute and a half left in the game of the last game that we're gonna play. You can toss me if you want. I don't
Yeah,
care.
right.
Like I'm not gonna let him do that to my teammate.
Did he toss you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. He tossed.
Right.
He tossed like 5 or 6 of us.
Nice.
penalty box. You sit in the
Oh
penalty
no,
box.
no, he like kicked us out of the game.
Oh,
It
your
was
team
bad.
is
It was
done.
bad. It was. I'll show you the video. It's not good. I'm not
Yeah.
proud of it.
That's amazing.
I'm
dude.
proud of it, though.
Heat of
I
the
loved
moment
it.
mistake for
Yeah.
sure.
So you guys released Doom Temple and then Chasm Darkly, and this is all going to be part of a new EP. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes, it's gonna be
And-
called
Yeah, go ahead.
Everything Falls Apart. Kind of like a play on the first EP, Nothing Ever Happens. And yeah, we're doing like a waterfall release strategy where every single comes out within 6 weeks. At least now, we didn't really do that with Chasm Darkly because we just wanted to push that out right before we did the tour with August Burns Red and Human Mouth. But yeah, everything now from Doom Temple on is going to be like every 6 weeks just to try to get our Spotify streams consistent and stay up. And then see how it's going to be when the actual EP drops.
Mhm.
And hopefully we can keep those numbers up a little bit.
Yeah,
We're,
because they'll
doing a-
drop after like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
so
it's frustrating.
we're doing a lot of like meta ad, like campaign stuff, just with our Spotify as the landing page, just trying to push our music that way. I mean, we're doing like playlist pitching and stuff too, but that only lasts for like a couple weeks till they throw you off the playlist.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know how you do it with the 2 bands you're in. Do y'all do any kind of Spotify like promo stuff?
We haven't like bought ads or anything like that, if that's what you're asking. With Zaphon, we just pitched to the playlist like during the release, and I'm kind of it's more of an old school death metal kind of
I
thing.
mean, you guys got plays.
So,
I mean, I think you have over 1,000 on each of your songs, right?
I don't think on every song, but
But it's like
we
at least
do.
the like top ones that you see is like some bands they don't have anything for their top 4
Yeah,
or whatever.
we got playlisted on a few of the tracks, but you're right, man. After the first couple months of releasing, and I dropped them all pretty much at the same time. We did like a single, and then a month went by, and then another single, and then the whole record about a month after that.
What I
So,
also noticed, if you do a playlist pitch within like Spotify for artists, they'll put you on release radar, which does get a lot of plays.
yeah, that helps.
That helps.
I think
a lot.
that's actually given us more plays than any of the playlists that we've gotten on with Doom Temple. I don't know if y'all have seen any of the stats.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw quite a few plays on there, and like when I was checking out your stuff, and
Yeah, we're trying to get up there. I mean, no one knows who we are yet, man. I mean, this is our first active year. I think we released Descender, our first single,
a year ago.
Yeah.
October 20th last year. Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing Ever Happens came out in 2023.
Yep.
Yeah,
What month was that?
It came out
November.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Day after Thanksgiving.
And then, so like fall is the time that you guys are releasing new tunes. Will the entire EP be out this year, the new one?
We're trying to figure that out.
Maybe
I
next
think
year.
You guys were talking about maybe doing it to 5. So if we did 5 songs, then it would be released in January, right? And
yeah, we're kind of talking probably early January,
right?
but
Were y'all saying that?
Well, this is a fun topic to debate right now.
yeah,
'cause
this is
we've
not.
been-
Yeah,
Well,
it's
let's
not the
debate it.
time.
Let's talk about it.
We've been bouncing
No,
around.
but we're doing a really weird
Therapy session.
Yeah, right.
The way we went about doing this EP has been
It's-
extremely challenging because we wanted to start getting the songs out, and obviously it has to be part of an EP, but the songs weren't even written yet, and we wanted Chasm Darkly to be on it, and we didn't want to like wait a whole year to put out the EP that Chasm Darkly is going to be on. So like what we've been doing is we're just like recording like 2 songs at a time, getting those ready, doing the videos and all that, and then we go back into the studio and do the next 2. So now we're getting to the end of it. Hopefully in January, February, everything will be out. But yeah, the next one we're gonna do, we're just gonna take a weekend, get everything recorded at once, because he's got to set up his drum kit at my house where we practice. Then he's got to break it down. Then he's got to go make sure that it sounds exactly the same way on the mics as it did on the other songs, so that the mix doesn't sound different. So it's been really tough. But
Drum dial?
So challenging is like the diplomatic word
Yeah,
to
I'm
use
being
there.
nice, yeah.
Psychotic is probably closer to
okay.
reality.
yeah,
Because basically what you just said though is I have to rehearse, like full mics, everything, like do the whole thing, ears, break all that down, take my kit home, set it up, and I've got like everything like gaffed on a rug, like where the mics go back and stuff, and it's like it's fine, but I'm like tracking myself. Like sometimes he'll come help me track, but it's like I'm like all my gear is like on one side of the room, and then the drum room is like back against the wall, like on the other side. So it's like doing that.
A new practice kit would only be like $3,000.
I know.
So-
we actually have
It's no
one that
problem,
we
right?
don't use.
Which is sad. He's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Dan bought a super nice kit back in the spring, and whenever Pat joined the band, we're like, hey, you can use Dan's kit if you want, and we can leave that
Change
here.
those heads again.
Yeah, right. We're not gonna do that.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, but I don't know. It started out Pat was kind of bringing like a Frankenstein version of where like half of it was the practice kit and half of it was his kit, and then it was just, you know what, I'm using these at the show. I'd rather just play my drums. If I'm moving half of it, it's not really different than moving the whole thing, you know. So it's been kind of a pain in the ass. Not just the drums, but also like just scheduling, man. Like we're all busy. All the time that we actually can get in the same room, we try and use it rehearse. So like he'll go down to Pat's to record vocals just a random weekday, and we'll hear it, you know, a couple of days later. Whereas, you know, when we did the first EP, it was he and I took a week off from work, and Pat came over to my house and engineered everything from my DAW and everything, and tracked us, and Justin did all of his in one weekend. You know, the right way to do it.
Yeah.
This one, yeah, we're insane. And
and we programmed the drums on the last run. So
On the
this
first
time
EP.
I'm tracking. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like actually like play this stuff live versus me just like tippy tapping it out and then like you know in my head, oh, this sounds cool, that sounds cool, whatever. And I also wasn't planning on playing any of this because I wasn't the drummer at the time. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be somebody else's problem. And now I've like doubled down on myself because now I have to play all the things that I never thought I would have to play. And then this time through has been like challenge. Let's just roll
It's
with
challenging,
challenge.
yeah.
So you're a producer, as it were, right? You have your own setup at your place. And so on these new songs, you're actually physically playing the drums. It's your cymbals that we're hearing.
Yep.
Now for the kick and stuff, are you triggering that or playing on a pad?
Pad. So basically, what it's the Brian Hood method, or what he used to do.
Okay.
From at least what I saw in video. So it's like the room and overheads and all that, real, And then I have like mesh heads on all, like the I think they're just called silent heads. Like I think Evans makes them, where I just put triggers on each head, so it's just capturing the transient, and then I just go in and convert to MIDI. But then I like tighten some things up. I let some stuff go that's not like super tight, you know, stuff that I think sounds cooler to just roll. Like if the guitars are super tight and it's covering that kind of, it just depends on the part, you know. You kind of, it's nice to let stuff kind of go sometimes. One of my favorite mixes regarding that is a lot of the JFAC records that Sukoff did, where it's like it's not hard gridded.
Job for a Cowboy.
Job for a Cowboy. Sorry.
Listening.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just he lets a lot of stuff go, like that doesn't, if the part doesn't call for it to be super super duper tight and edited to death, you know, he lets it go. I like that, you know.
I like that too.
As long as the source tones are good, that's kind of where I stand with it. But
so your toms are actually like Evans mesh heads that are triggered, and then you're sampling the best toms that you can find.
Yeah, but it's everything like.
What about snare? Are you getting your own snare sound or?
Nope, everything, even kick, everything's mesh, because it's just, to be honest, 100%, I would have just tracked drums with real heads, mic'd everything, did it, and that's how I'd like to do it on the next one, in blend samples, but I was like, I'm going to be breaking this down and setting, I'm already having to worry about the overheads in the room.
It's just the most expensive way
to
record drums, and as you guys are a newer band, and I play in young bands, I guess you could say, bands that are starting up, you kind of have to work your way up to where you can like, oh, we're going to track drums this week in this beautiful sounding room, and we're going to bring brand new heads, which new heads are like $400, you know.
It gets expensive. Yeah. And I've got the stuff to do it. The problem is really the time. That's like slip editing. Yeah. Like you do still have to, the mesh heads kind of eliminates the need to slip edit even the stuff that needs to get tight. So you're eliminating the bleed basically, so it's easier on the editing. It's just the time to set up, the breakdown, the editing. This go around, would I like to do it different next time? Yes, but it works for now.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of like old school type recordings, you know, the old death metal from the 90s, and even bands that record more organically, but sometimes that doesn't always equate to the result that you want to get on a recording, and so it's just like use the modern tools and get the job done.
Right,
it's the balance.
And then if you keep at it for a long time, you can eventually like do a drum session in a really great studio.
Right,
like, that's my take on that. So.
Right, no, agreed, 100%.
Yep. But we've definitely talked about like, you know, hey, you know, we know another producer who maybe he'll let us use his drum room for a day, you know, like
we all have friends who, you know, it would be cool to like, hey, I'm gonna mention him by name, but my buddy Lee Rouse, he's been around. We've kind of grown up in the same community. Like, hey man,
he's killing
plug, like exchanging that kind of stuff. So we both kind of like, it would be cool to do something with him that wasn't like us just talking about something we did for something else. You know, it'd be cool to work with him like that. So we've talked about that. Maybe in the future, it would be cool.
Yep,
for sure. You guys, guitar players, have any kind of practice routines that you guys do? Anything in particular that you want to suggest to like players that want to be in a band? Like talk about how you come up with riffs and what you work on the instrument itself. And Dan, feel free to chime in as well. I know you play guitar as well as bass. So, yeah.
If I was to give advice, the first thing I would tell people is focus on your right hand.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like, don't play like crap. Because I throughout my career of playing in bands, you would see people on stage or you'd hear recordings and you can tell they're just right hand with slop. And so I focus on that. So I'm definitely more a rhythm player than I am lead. He handles more of the lead parts for Sunmancer, but yeah, man, get tight with that right hand.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, definitely. When I first started playing with Kyle, was like, that's the first thing I noticed about him was his right hand, like his gallops and stuff, and it was just extremely tight. He's writing things that
translates to the recordings.
Yeah,
and your playthrough video is killer, man.
Oh,
it's
cool!
So
you watched
tight.
it, nice.
Hell
yeah,
I watched it.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us. We really wanted, even though nobody knew who we were, nobody like figured nobody would even watch it, but it's like as guitar players, we want to show like, hey, we're the real deal. You know, like he and I practice our asses off. It took me a little bit to kind of, I mean, I've always been a good right hand player, but when I saw like how tight he was, and I even told Pat about it, like when I met him, like I gotta get up to that level, you know. So a lot of it is just playing things at a slower tempo. He's writing something at 220. All right, I'm gonna play it at 180 for a little bit, you know, and I'm gonna crank it up. Yeah, exactly.
So fast, man.
So Doom Temple was originally like 230.
It was
and it's incredibly fast. And then, you know, not just the guitar playing, but now we're going to ask a drummer to do blast beats on that. So we ended up bringing it down to 220.
I changed a few parts. There was a version that did not come out.
Well, dude, you got pretty creative and did cool things. Like there's on the demo, it's like it's just straight double bass through like this whole section. Well, now what he does and what he ended up doing on the record is like he'll go to triplets on the bass drum for half of it, and then the straight, you know, straight notes like over the second half, you know. So, but yeah, for me, it's a lot of just slowing things down, playing slow. I like to learn things by ear. It's become my big skill. I can kind of shortcut to things where I don't have to get the tab book because I've learned enough things by ear that when I hear it, I can typically visualize like where it's at.
Yeah, that's a great skill, dude. As a guitar player, it's essential. And
yeah, that's my number one thing. And even when I was in music school, it was like when we would do ear training. I didn't realize that was my skill until I got in there. But it was like the teacher would play he would play a chord, and then he would play a note, and you'd have to say like, is that the third? Is that the flat third? Is that the flat seven? Whatever. And I immediately could always do it. To the point where like he wouldn't call him anymore. He's like, we know, don't, you know, let everybody else figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the ear thing is huge for me. And then playing tight is all about learning it slow.
Yeah, learn how to intonate too. That's be
able to work on your guitar.
Know how to intonate their guitar. You're gonna sound like.
And I got Floyd Rose, and like that. I'm the only. Everyone else I know doesn't want to play with a Floyd Rose because they know how big of a pain in the ass it is. But,
it's a little bit harder to intonate a Floyd Rose guitar for sure,
dude. Yeah, and once you get it, do not mess it up. You know?
Keep it.
And it's really easy to do that. So, but definitely learning to work on your guitar is a big deal.
Yeah, for me, like with bass for Sunmancer, normally when we're leading up to shows, we've got MP3s that Kyle or Jeremy will share of the click track for the whole set. So I'll practice to that until I just get sick of hearing that in my ear. And then I'll put on some of our like show footage we never released just so I have something to kind of have fun with watching while I'm playing. Mm-hmm. Then when I get sick of playing bass, I'll bring out my guitar. And, Justin and I had over the last few years written a bunch of like melodic hardcore stuff that I'm really passionate about. So I typically will mess around with that stuff until I find something that's like probably usable or heavier than what I typically would do, and I'm like, oh, this could work for Sunmancer, and I'll try and hash it out, and a lot of times it won't make the cut, but sometimes it does, so when I get through that stuff, I'll get pretty hyped on it, and then I'll send it off to a handful of people and see what they think. And sometimes it goes over well, sometimes it's back to the drawing board.
Nature of it, baby.
I just kind of force myself to go down to my studio as frequently as possible, and when I get bored with something, I've got another alternative to keep playing and just stay active with it.
That's awesome, man. And you play a Dingwall bass?
Yeah.
How do you like that, man?
I love it because it's like super easy to play with the fan frets, and the neck's not super bulky. So for me, being more of a guitar player, it was kind of easy to transition over to it. My first bass I had was a Fender P bass, and it's just
honking bass,
that's
man.
a big
Submarine.
block, it's like a 2x4. So it's fun for the more rock style stuff that I was doing, but it did not make my job easier playing with these guys playing as fast as they play.
And what model do you play, Dan?
It's the NG3, the Nolly Get Good.
Yeah,
guy. So,
I played that one. I played like a pink swirl one.
Mm-hmm. And it's not super heavy either, which I like
pretty
a lot.
Nice.
So it's not giving me back problems or anything. So I'm actually going to probably buy the 5-string version here soon. So we got a couple songs coming up that
let's get low.
We need a little bit more thump to on some of the breakdowns. So
a little bit of girth,
Yeah.
So trying to decide what color to get, but I'll probably stick with the same guitar just because I like it.
Yeah, those basses are fantastic, man. Talk about the guitars that you guys play in Sunmancer, and let's talk rigs too. What kind of amps do you guys like to use for the band?
Go ahead, Kyle. You want to talk rigs a little bit?
So I play Caparison. I love those guitars. I use a through and through model. It's the Adam D kill switch signature. I would like to get another one, but they're not very cheap.
They're very expensive. What kind of like made you gravitate towards the Caparison?
Adam D was my hero.
Yeah.
And then, actually getting to try it, it was like I fell in love with it. So towards the top of the neck, like the 1st through the 5th frets, it's more of a D shape, like a Les Paul. So chording feels really good.
Oh, cool.
The further up you get, it's more of a C-shaped neck, like a wizard on like an Ibanez or something. So it, doing your weedly leads
Love
and
some
stuff.
Weedleys.
Sound like it's easier. It's easy to do. I mean, it's also just an insanely loud instrument. So it's got a one active pickup. It's the kill switch Fishman. It's the loudest guitar I've ever played. It's the best playing guitar I've ever played. It's got actually the only thing I don't like about it is its small frets as opposed to like I'm used to playing large and
Jumbos, yeah.
And I like play with my fretting hand like real like heavy, so I really grip the neck. And sometimes if you do that with small frets, you're gonna
pull it out.
Yeah, you'll push the note or you'll push the string in too far. But as far as my my rig is concerned, I use a Kemper. And then played through an orange cab, and then Jeremy, he's got an axe that's played through an orange cab. But we try to match our tones. So for live, the Kemper is it's based on a diesel
VH4.
Yeah, VH4 in both the Kemper and the axe. Mm-hmm. Both I love the Kemper because how easy it is to use. But the axe sounds really good too. I had considered for a little while, like, man, maybe I should sell the Kemper and get an axe, but.
You got the Axe 3, Jeremy?
No, I got Axe FX 2 XL.
That's still a beast of a rig.
Yeah, we got the Crown Power Amp and going through orange cab. We have the matching orange cabs on stage, which is cool. The 212s.
And he is orange.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually playing through Dan's cab. But
orange cabs are great, man. They're like
we just use the 212s. There's no reason to try to push a 412. You're not going to get as loud, so you're not going to push the cones as much. So with the 212, you're going to just get just better, tone.
I agree.
Yeah, I got a super good deal on one, and we used it. And he's like, I got to buy one. Now we have two. So I was like, you don't need to buy one. We've already got it. So,
they're getting beat
worked
up,
out really
though.
well for us.
They will,
they're getting beat up.
But there's an orange. I play through a Darkglass, which works well with my guitar that's got Darkglass preamps in the guitar.
Which Darkglass do you use, man?
It's the Alpha Omega. It's like a 900 watt amp, so it's super light, super portable.
You push a cab too with that?
Yeah, it's a 410 cab, which is the lightest piece of gear we have, which is amazing.
One of the Darkglass cabs?
Yeah.
It's light.
They're amazing.
It sounds good for it not being super bulky wood, which I liked a lot about it, but it also just fits really well with the guitar that I bought.
Yeah, and he barely has to turn it up too. Like
I'm playing at like 4.
It's a very loud piece of gear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got some power behind it. It's super easy to move around. It's my favorite part about it.
Yeah,
it sounds good. A lot of us are using that plug-in anyway when we're recording, so it's probably not spot on the way I have it, but it fits well in the mix with the guitars that they spent a lot of time kind of dialing in. So it kind of sits back where it needs to with having a really guitar focused type of writing style.
For sure.
Yeah, and doing the guitar tones was a little challenging too because so Kyle's got the active pickup in his Caparison, and then I got the Dean ML79 with a passive pickup, the Bill Lawrence USA L500 XL. I grew up a dime cat.
The dime bag
kid. Yeah, so
dime bag.
I got all that, and then I also replaced the. They had one of those licensed Floyd Roses in it, which suck. But I went ahead and got a German-made Floyd Rose, the real deal. Put that in there. But yeah, just the nature of the passive and the active, like getting the tones to match, is hard to do. But and also, we're not using the same exact head. Like I'm not using Kemper. So when I bought the Axe 2, I just told Kyle like take it home. And he's really good with dialing in that stuff. He dialed in the tones and it's very mid heavy. The whole like as soon as we started playing together, we started talking about the tone, and the idea was crank the mids. I don't want to get lost in the bass. I don't want to get lost with the drums. So when we're playing, like if it's just me and him and Patrick playing at my house, you know, just to get a jam in on a weekend or a weeknight or whatever, sounds very thin. But when we're playing with the band and Dan's there, like all of a sudden, like it's cutting. And everything is sitting exactly where it's supposed to be. We're staying out of each other's ways sonically. So yeah, that was a big focus for us, was getting the tones down for sure.
That sounds massive. I can't wait to hear what you guys sound like tonight.
Yeah, hopefully they don't suck.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can trick everyone.
I think
and
This
they'll think we're
particular
good.
venue, I have not been. You guys are playing Flavor 90s Bar. Which
Oh
is-
yeah, baby.
As far as I know, it's maybe a newer venue.
Yeah, I saw there's a
like-
big screen right next to the stage, so you guys can watch your sports ball.
Yeah, me and Dan are gonna make it a point
Perfect.
we're gonna turn to the left and we're gonna watch a whole play
Yes.
and not look at the
in
crowd
the middle
while
of
we're
a
playing.
breakdown.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, first down, all right, and then we'll go back to the the show.
Guttural go dogs. In
Yeah,
the mic.
right.
You guys are, you're Georgia fans, right?
Yeah, we're Georgia folks. Yeah,
I watched you guys beat Tennessee last year. That was a rough
Yeah, I
game.
actually got married 2 years ago, and everyone was telling me like, man, no, that's the day of the big game, Georgia and Tennessee. It was supposed to be like the only competitive game that Georgia was going to play that year. It was not competitive at all. Everyone was like so worried they were going to miss it, and it was like in the second quarter they were up by like 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Did you
like,
move your wedding based on the game?
No, I wouldn't do that. Now I'm more of an NFL guy, so like I'm not gonna be doing a wedding on a Sunday. I got season tickets to the Atlanta Falcons, which I'm missing tomorrow, which sucks. But sold my tickets to my friend Benny. Shout out Benny. He's gonna get in my seats and be loud and
All right.
piss off the other fans, that kind of stuff.
That's hilarious.
At
man.
that wedding, it was funny too because I pay attention to sports, but I'm like a hockey. It's hit or miss when it comes to
Are you a
football.
Preds fan? Does Atlanta
I went to a
have a team?
Predators game last night or the night before. Yeah, Thursday night I went to a Preds game. It was
Is that
fun.
your team though?
No, I'm a Rangers fan.
Okay.
But
Until the Thrashers come back,
till the
baby.
Thrashers-
We're getting one back.
Hey, knock on wood, it's happening. They're building it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there, but no, it was so funny. Like, cause I was just like having a drink at the wedding, sitting at the table, and like the farther back you look, it's just people's phones propped up watching the UGA
My
game.
father-in-law,
I'm like,
and,
of course,
and
guys.
my uncle, and all those guys. Everybody's just in the back watching the game.
I'm
on the
like,
phone.
guys, we are at
Yeah.
Jeremy's wedding. Like, this can wait.
I'm
They're
not
already-
mad at him. Yeah, I would walk by and be like, "What's going on?" You know,
Yeah.
where are we at?
Thank you for coming to our wedding. And then they're like, hang on a second.
hang on,
Hold on. Oh, first down. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Go
Wait,
ahead.
what were we saying?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys, like, as far as speaker cabinets go, is that something that local bands should be concerned with, or bands that are starting to tour? Like, do you feel like the presence of a speaker cab is, like, essential for a great sounding live metal show? Or do you think if the PA is good enough, you can just go direct?
I mean, it depends on the venue itself. So smaller venues where, the front of the house sound may or may not be that good. Like maybe they only have 4 inputs or 5, so you may not
Right.
be
We
able
played
to
a
play.
hair salon last month, and it had a 4-channel PA. So there was no option for that. So
Sound wasn't
It
that
was a
bad.
PVPA, right?
I don't even remember, man, but I do remember.
We're actually able to do our
Like
light
two
show.
JBL tops, like 12.
Yeah,
or
we
something,
we ended
you
up
know?
we sounded
No
really
subs.
good because we just went simple, man. Like we went just trigger, snare, vocal, bass drops, samples.
it.
or
Yeah.
It
whatever.
sounded
Yeah,
good?
that was yeah. It was
Surprisingly,
Sounds fine.
yeah. So the positive about having a cab on the stage is you have that oomph behind you, particularly with a bass
Stage
cab.
volume.
But
Mm-hmm.
I would like to, at some point, be able to play without our cabs on stage since everything's digital.
Yeah.
Just give our input to the
That would
front
be
of the house
sweet.
engineer. But
Yeah, our
it would
rig
also, it would also give us a whole lot more room on stage, being
Mhm.
able to put our rack cases onto the side. Because I do like to run around on the stage, and the more room we have, the better for it. But yeah, if you're not going to play digital, then you're definitely going to need a cab. Like if you're going to play through a tube amp or even a solid state, like if you're going to have an actual physical head, yeah, you're going to need a cab. But yeah, if you got a good digital rig, I don't see why you would really need a cab.
Yeah.
But it's good to have, to have that oomph behind you.
Yeah.
I will say,
I like
when
being
I
able
see,
to hear that.
Yeah, when I see bands though, I forget to even look if they're using cabs or not. I think it's so comparable. Like, whatever works for you, I guess, and whatever works for the front of house. But like I said, like if you're in a situation like we were at a hair salon with 4 inputs, then you got to use the cabs. But Kyle's got our rig streamlined. Like we have like a snake that comes out with all the XLR inputs, and each one of them's labeled, and he can just go to the sound guy and be like, here you go.
Push faders
You know?
up, basically.
Yeah, push the faders up, you know.
So that's convenient for sure. Because not going down this road either, but in a past life, that's what I did. I was a live audio engineer. I worked, like, my uncle owned a production company, grew up doing that. So that was like, I've been in bands over the years where that was like kind of a staple. It's like we have to have those were like, to me, essentials to have, you know. And it just makes, in the right environments, makes everybody's life easier, but in the wrong ones, you know, in a hair salon, you kind of got to do what you got to do. You gotta
Yeah,
do what you
it's
gotta
been cool too, because, you know, Kyle's learned, me and Kyle, but Kyle definitely has kind of taken over or kind of jumped in on all the gearhead stuff and figuring out the X32 and figuring out how we can mix ourselves in the in-ears and what we need to send in front of the house and all that. That when we got Patrick in the band, you know, it's like, hey, now we got another guy who knows, you know, equal if not more about this stuff. But we've yet to like implement him into that side yet. But we've been talking about it, like how we're going to be able to do that. Like what things can he kind of take over in the live situation as far as like setting up the rig and stuff like that, so that Kyle's not doing everything.
Yeah, it's
I
a
mean,
lot
it gets
of
really
stress
stressful.
on one person.
He'll
It's
look
like,
at
do
me
the
and just
lights
he'll yell
the-
at me and be like, I don't know, don't ask me right now. I'm like, all right, dude, I get it. You know, you're you know, you got all that on your plate or whatever. So I've tried to at least take my side of the stage to be like, I don't have to ask Kyle anything. I can just plug everything up. He can count on me to know that everything's where it's supposed to be, and then he can just focus on whatever else he's got.
I just click in one post DI and get out of the way.
Bass, mono.
Yeah, that's it.
Here
Nailed it.
comes.
See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's essential for metal bands these days to have this type of technology in-ear monitoring, or can you do it without that stuff?
Man, 6 months ago, I'd have been like, you don't need in-ear monitors. But having played it, I don't understand how someone can not use in-ears. Because the things that you can hear clearly and focus on for like future performances, absolutely, dude. Get yourself some in-ears. They're expensive though.
They are.
They're probably the last thing that you should get. The first and foremost I would focus on as an up and coming band is learn how to play to a click track. Get some way that at least the drummer has a click track in the ear. Because if not, if you're just playing along to the drummer's not playing to a click track, they tend to go faster than what the click track does. So makes it hell for everybody. So if you get everyone on board with playing to a click track, now I have a hard time practicing without a click track. Like even at home, like when I'm just jamming at home, I like to have that click, 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 because it keeps me on time.
Yeah.
Everybody's a rock star till the metronome shows up.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
The only thing I'll add to that is, my brain just farted.
It's all right. I'll edit that out.
Nice.
Brain fart.
No, God, what was I gonna say, Kyle?
Add something.
No, X32, blah blah blah.
Click track.
Click track.
Oh, that's
This
what I was
is
gonna say.
good.
Is having in ears. It's like when you're practicing without something that when you can't hear what you're messing up, then how do you correct it? You know, so it's
Right.
like having ears. It's like, oh man, I'm missing this fill every single time, and it's painfully obvious that you're missing it every time. Versus like, oh, I'm just kind of playing through the songs. Nothing's like grabbing you to be like, fix this. You know, it's kind of like a jab in your side. It's like, oh yeah, shit, I missed. Oh crap, I missed it again. You know, it's like that is the biggest biggest benefit. Thing that is the most beneficial about
There
it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people rely on just like the loud volume to get them through. So like drummers, they like, oh well, if I mic'd, I don't have to play as hard. Or guitar players, it's like if I got enough distortion, then it's going to cover my mistakes. Like we play with really low gain. I think our gain's set at like 3, and our bass is like between 2 and 3 o'clock. So like he said earlier, yeah, it's really mid heavy. But if we make mistakes, you're going to hear it.
Yep.
And having the in-ears, not only can I clearly hear myself because I have it panned stereo, like I'm in left ear, he's in my right ear. I can hear when he's messing up, and if he's consistently messing up, or vice versa, he can hear consistently if I'm messing up on a part. He's like, "Hey man, you gotta like get your crap together on this part."
Or you can hear who's out of tune. I know if, you know, like okay, somebody's out of tune. Yeah, I might not be able to tell like who it is on the fly, but it's like, okay, we have to fix this in between songs. You know, like things like that definitely help. If you want your show to be perfect, you should probably have in-ears.
Yeah, it's kind of like putting yourself under like a microscope, you know. And as a drummer, like you're not smashing your eardrums with cymbals. You've got something to protect it, and you don't have to have a wedge blasting the guitars or vocal, like, you know, whatever you need to reference. You can hear like, oh, I can hear my kick now and hear my snare. You really can't hear your kick drum if it's not in your in-ears. You really like it. Just you might feel it, but it's really hard to play in time, like with that.
Yeah, it took us a while to actually get the drums that are in-ears.
Because you need mics, right? Now you got to buy drum mics for your band.
Figuring out how we can route it through the X32 with all the different mix buses. But when we finally got, for me, the moment was because I had played the song Defender with ABR on stage in Chattanooga when we went on the road with them. And I got to hear their mix. And it's like, oh gosh, this is what you guys are hearing every night. No wonder you guys sound so good. So it's like after I played, I was like, we've got to match like what they're doing. So we spent a lot of time on trying to make sure that we can get the drums in our in-ears so it sounds good. I don't think I could ever go back to not like just having earplugs in and standing next to my amp. That's all I'm focusing on. I can't even hear if the drums are messing up. I can't tell what he's playing. So yeah, absolutely, dude. But it for an up and coming band, because of the I have a
gotta have like five dudes with jobs, you know.
I have a saying. I have a saying that I tell these guys is buy once, cry once. So put $1,000 into a really good in-ear. Like we have the Sennheiser G4 wire, all of us do.
The wireless pack, and
it hurts at first to buy it because all five of that's like $5,000 right there, like $5,400 or something like that.
And then if you want to get the custom molded actual in-ears, which I'm like the only one that has that. Well, do you have one?
No, I don't have them all.
Yeah, he's the only one that's got that.
I don't have that either, man.
But it's like rather than buying a cheap like $200 in-ear that it's gonna inevitably crap out on you, just pony up, get the good stuff, and then that way you don't have to worry about it not sounding bad.
Right.
But yeah, I absolutely love in-ears.
And we'll oftentimes talk after the show, be like, did you notice that? And we'll go through all the things we thought we messed up. We'll go listen to our recording or video of us playing. We're like, we were really tight, so we're really nitpicking some very minor deficiencies in the set list, which every time we just keep getting better because we're calling each other out or calling ourselves out constantly about the little stuff that seems huge on stage, but when you get off stage, you're like, as a whole, the group sounds very tight.
Yeah, we are very hard on ourselves.
Yeah, and we do record video of every one of our shows. And we do it at practice too a lot. But especially if like we're working in a new song or something like that, just to actually see, because when you're doing it in real time, there's no way to know exactly what you have to fix. But when you can go back and watch it, then you can find what you need to fix. But there's a lot of times, almost every show, we as soon as we stop playing, I'll look at Pat and he'll just be like, I was bad, man, or someone's just like, dude, I messed this up so bad, and then we'll go watch the video and be like, what are you talking about? It was not even close to what you thought it was.
You that 1/16th note on the floor tom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or you hear him in the rehearsal recordings, he's like, that sucked. Screaming at
oh my god,
during the breakdown, this sucked.
No, so a little funny story from rehearsals. Like we had, we have interludes that play in between every song, and we didn't have them run through the PA. They were running through the in-ears. So we all have in-ears in. The camera's back here, and in between songs, Pat looks at me and he was just like, "Liminal Riff was terrible," and I'm like, "What?" On the camera audio, you can't hear. There's no sound coming through. It's just us screaming at each other, dude. And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Liminal Riff was terrible," and I'm like, "Dude, I didn't think it was that bad."
Dude, that song rules, by the way.
Nice.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's the first track off the first EP.
Yep.
That's our first song in the
music
set,
video song too, right?
Yeah. No, that one doesn't have a music video. No, for that record, we only had Revolver had a music video, and Descender had a music video. Descender was the first song
and
that we came out with.
And it was more of a visualizer.
Yeah, I got to be clear about that.
Visualizer.
Yeah. No, it's a music video. Our friend Aaron Marsh hooked us up with that, and he's like, "Come on, guys, you're gonna call it a music video?" Like, He's like, "It's a visualizer." I'm like, "Dude, it's good. We're calling it a music video."
Yeah, you got
basement recordings.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we just did that in Dan's basement. Just it was we just needed something to put out that first song. So now we've been working with a guy, Justin West, who's done the last 3 videos with us and absolutely knocks it out of the park. He went on the August Burns Red run with us.
Yeah, if he's watching, yeah,
yeah. Shout out Justin West. He kills it for us. Anytime we got a new song, we'll shoot it to him, and he's got an idea. He's got an actor in mind that we can use or whatever.
And his turnaround time is insane.
Yeah, he gets it done in like a week.
4 days.
Yeah. He's really good.
But I think
awesome dude.
It's because he really likes us. I don't know if he's doing that with everyone.
Yeah, he went on the road with us. Well, he was
awesome.
like part of the band with us, like that whole run.
Did you make a little tour video?
Oh, yeah,
we
got a bunch
of
tour. If you go to our Instagram, there's like 5 tour recaps that he did for us.
Oh, dude, cool. He got some great shots.
Yeah, and then
find those.
And then we do. We have he did a bunch of footage that I cut together because I use Final Cut Pro, and I've been using that as like promo stuff whenever we have shows going on. Like I actually have one running right now, but I don't know what it's doing. But
yeah, it's just a promo that shows like all the live shots, and we'll just kind of target the areas that we're going to play. It'll be like Nashville,
and supporting
Alabama.
Whatever band we're with,
Yeah, we'll have all
those are really well done. I really enjoyed those.
It
was great.
We try to keep everything in house, so Justin has really like hit the ground running with using like Photoshop for making flyers because we just got sick of like seeing crap flyers with our name on it.
Yeah.
So Justin is like taking off with that. Same thing with like cutting and splicing videos. Jeremy already has a hand in it. We've got Pat who's doing like in-house producing. We've got Dan who's got money and
Daddy Dan,
and Kyle like just one day randomly decided he was gonna be our personal LD.
Yeah,
and just dove
head
first into the lighting stuff.
Yep.
Which, to be fair, is as like kind of encroached on like what I used to do at my job, and I like definitely understand how daunting of a task that was. And I was like, he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna grab all these lights and get these,
get learning
movers.
curve on that stuff is tough, man.
Grab all these movers,
man. Sitting in my garage with my sunglasses on in the dark, like
yeah, he would send us these videos.
Programming, yeah.
He'd send us these videos.
Dedication, man.
Send us these videos of everything, like
every song
with just like our scrim set up with the fixtures like around like where they're gonna be, and just have the song blasting in his garage at 4 a.m. or whatever it is.
Yep.
We're hoping that you get something good tonight after telling us telling you all this stuff.
It depends on the stage size.
Yeah, hopefully we get to use the lights. Sometimes we can't. Like the last show we did a couple weeks ago in Chattanooga, it's like they had like their emergency door was like behind the stage, so you could not cover it with anything.
So strange.
That venue's
the sound guy there.
Hey, great folks there though, for real.
They are very sweet.
Yeah, Chandler,
really,
the sound guy, is a great dude.
The sound guy is so cool there. Yeah, that guy
he plays.
rules.
What's up, Chandler?
Yeah. he was showing me like pictures of him playing shows with his Linkin Park cover band, and it's like massive crowds, dude. Killing it. I was
nice.
Like,
that's awesome.
Dude,
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Nah, great dude.
Well, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say we had risers made by this guy.
Oh yeah. At my shop, so I'm a welder by trade, and
amazing.
We were on Stranger Things.
I was talking about. Yeah, but I'm not gonna get into all that.
I
don't say that on camera. I mean, you can say that, but I can't. You can't. Don't ask me a question.
Spoilers.
I'll have to kill you.
Anyways, I was just talking to the guys in my shop just about like I wanted the band to, like I wanted to build some stage risers that when we were on the road with August Burns Red, it's like we were using theirs, and they even sent us like the invoice of like where they got them, how much they cost, and I was just looking at the way they were built, and I was like, man, I can design something better than this. So like theirs, they're just kind of in place, the way that they are. They don't break down. Mine break down. The legs fold in. I got plexi on the top so that we can put lights underneath it if we want to. But yeah, I was just talking to the guys at the shop. We were hitting a slow time, and the boss was like, hey, if you guys got any like personal projects you want to work on, like now might be the time to do it. So I started telling him about the risers. I was going to do them out of steel just because I didn't want to waste the company money, like on the aluminum. He's like, do we have all this aluminum that we don't know what to do?
Oh, they're so lightweight.
Oh yeah,
Sick,
dude. So then all of a sudden, my boss is coming up the hill with a forklift with just sticks and sticks of aluminum, and he and I were writing out the cut list and getting guys cutting the parts for us. Then we're building jigs to kind of get it in there and get it welded up. And
that is so cool, man.
Yeah,
They look great.
They
You need
look
to send me
awesome.
some pictures of those, and I'll put them up on the screen so people can see.
Oh yeah, totally.
like
For
what
sure,
they are.
for
and
sure.
I'll
Yeah,
get
shout
some,
out Benny again. He helped me with that
get
a
some
lot.
close-ups of the welds. You know, a good weld.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something
Look at those
you
welds,
appreciate
man,
it,
dude.
right?
So yeah, we were.
They
And this
look
is not to
great,
be
man.
mean or anything, but like when we were in Chattanooga, I let all the bands use them for every show. So I kind of tell them like, hey, use these. They're sturdy. Don't worry about it. And this one band, two big boys,
This is
standing
Warner
on.
Robins, right?
No, this was I think it was Chattanooga.
No,
Maybe
Doesn't
we
matter.
don't say where it was. So
Doesn't matter.
that's at some point.
They,
So
whatever. They know they're big boys. I'm not saying anything bad about them. They're both standing on one riser, and I took a video of it and I sent it to my boss. I was like, "Weld test. What do you think, man?" But yeah,
So great.
when I got back in town, like that video had already made it around the whole shop. They're like, "Looks like they're holding up, dude."
That's amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
Yep.
Jeremy, that's great.
Yep.
That's killer. So you guys put out 2 songs this year, and those are going to be a part of an EP, Doom Temple and Chasm Darkly. Justin, maybe talk about what's coming up next, man. What do we have a new song that you guys want to talk about? Can you release the name to us?
Yeah. Lower Cavalier is coming out November 1st, 2 weeks. And that's going to be part of the EP coming out that we're trying to figure out if it's going to be January or March, but Everything Falls Apart is the name of the EP. And we have Lower Cavalier, and then we have either 2 more songs or 3 more songs. I guess that's something we're still trying to figure out.
Don't look at
It's
me.
mainly up to this.
Don't look at
I
me.
mean, you're the one that has to do all the heavy
Yeah,
lifting as
Pat,
far as moving
Pat's
the
our
drums around.
workhorse as far as the record goes.
But yeah, I mean it's yeah, I mean that one's done. I mean we have it. It's already in distro. We've got everything going. We got a visualizer coming out by our friend J-Dub, Justin West. He's whipping that up right now as we speak.
Yep.
Out of the blue. I mean, I was surprised he wanted to do it, so I'm really stoked that he's going to do it because we were scrambling trying to figure something out. We were actually going to do a music video for this, but it's just time wasn't on our side, and we just couldn't agree on an actual idea concept for it. We have things in works because we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do for these other 2 songs after this. Because you got to have visual content, and like if we're going to be doing like the meta ad stuff, we got to have some sort of teaser clips to post with it to have the Spotify landing pages and all that crap. So
Would you guys ever use AI art for
we
your?
do. Well,
We do, yeah.
The cover art, like Aaron, the guy that's doing all our cover art stuff, that's what he uses is AI art. I don't know what he's doing for the EP artwork. I don't know if he used that for Nothing Ever Happens or the new one that he's doing, but I know for these cover arts, these single cover arts, he's using AI.
Yeah, and I started like whenever the AI thing was really getting popular, over the last 2 years, I kind of was very anti using it. I'm like, nope, I want a real guy's art.
But I think Aaron does. He does put his.
This is a little different because our friend Aaron Marsh, who is a great artist, and he's done hundreds of album covers and stuff, and plenty of things that people listen to this podcast and guys in this room from albums that we like.
Yeah. So
the fact that he kind of uses it as a tool for us, and he's our homie, he hooks it up. So like we're not pushing him to no man, AI is unacceptable, but yeah, and the fact that he supervises it, we don't get a skeleton with 9 fingers on one hand. You know what I mean? So yeah, now we're using he uses AI as a tool to make the artwork. He can crank them out fast for us, kind of give us an idea. The last one that he did, the artwork he came up with for Doom Temple, inspired the video. So he made the single art, and then we sent that to Justin West, and he was like, okay, I got an idea. And that's when he got the actor in, and then got him in the white morph suit and all that, and like to kind of look like
the Sunmancer.
Yeah. It's like, guys, I think I created the first Sunmancer.
Perfect, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. So we've got a new song coming out, and that will be part of an EP, and then
and then we have another song. That will be coming out in December. I think December 13th.
Yeah, we got 2 locked and loaded right now.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Heck yeah.
Just to clarify, the 2 new song titles are Dan Fran and Honkin' Butts.
Yep. Yeah. Man, we change it a lot. It's either honking butts or honking ass.
Yeah. One of the 2.
Or just honking.
It's good to have working titles that the band can, enjoy and agree upon.
Yeah, well, I used to try like cool working titles, like our song Revolver. When I first sent it to them, I was like, oh, this is a badass title. So I was calling it Crow Eater. And nobody cared. It immediately got changed. Nobody thought it was cool. So I'm keeping that one in the pocket if we ever want to use it again. So
That sounds like a
or the other one,
pet.
Liminal Rift, was cooking the dagger, because I was watching House of the Dragon, and they just like they had this dagger that they put over like this fire, and like the prophecy shows up on the blade, and I was like, oh, that's badass. We're cooking the dagger. That's what this song's called.
I remember it being called. I remember just seeing Dagger a lot because that's what I was. That was before.
Because then
I was
he
in the
shortened
band.
it. Yeah, when it got to him, it was just dagger. You know.
Oh, did I? Was that me?
Mm-hmm.
So it was cooking the dagger when it got to me, and then
Yep.
I did that. Oh,
Yep.
whoops.
Yep.
That's fun.
Oh well.
So you guys are playing tonight in Nashville. It's gonna be sick. Flavor
Mhm.
90s Bar. This will be out after that. This will be coming out next week.
Hey,
on
come to the
Friday.
show tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, come to the show. Go back in time and
Yeah.
go to the show.
We'll still be there.
But just be on the lookout for upcoming shows from Sunmancer. Are you guys planning on touring with anyone soon, or trying to get on a tour? Would that be something you guys would want to do?
Justin, we allowed to talk about anything that?
I mean, we might be on a festival in Tennessee in December. We're still trying to wait on the announcement on that.
Mhm. Yeah, it should be a
Big
very
one.
nice band headlining, but I don't think we can say yet.
And we got some stuff in January that we're doing with some buddies with Delta 8. We're doing a weekender with them in January. And this band Rotted Remains from Panama City. We're doing like 2 days with them.
Doing some Florida dates with them. Yeah.
Then we're just going to probably take it easy for a little while because we want to focus on writing and just trying to recalibrate our bearings as far as like what we need to do with live shows, because
Got a bunch of new songs coming out. Figuring out how to
I gotta
jam those in the set.
Yeah, I got to redo the set list and all that, and hopefully, I'm sure we'll play Atlanta again next year. Something that we've kind of decided, like, we don't want to play our hometown too much.
Yeah.
Because people stop coming, they'll be like, oh, well, I just saw him a month ago, or I'll catch him next time. It's like, if we're only playing in Atlanta one time this year, you're gonna go out.
Yeah.
So like, we like those shows to be good. The two that we've done close to home were killer shows. The very first one sold out. Not a massive room or anything, but like, that's what I'd like it to be. So with Sunmancer, like, when we're gonna play live, it's not gonna be in our neighborhood. Like, I want those shows are for the homies and the family and all that stuff.
Right.
And these are kind of just, let's get out there, let's play with good
you
bands.
have to, man.
Yeah,
You
right.
got to get out in front of some new people and make those connections.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the only way to do it is to load up everything in a van and
Even if it's 11 people.
play your tunes. Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's 11 people that came out to see us.
You got to.
And that's it.
That's how
or
it
the
starts,
bands,
man.
or if it was just the bands that
Or it's just the bands playing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
we've
the
had
bill.
we've had situations like that, but
Well, let's go around really quick and everyone just share like your social media where people can follow each individual member. If you want to see some guitar videos or a drum video or
Talk
whatever
about
it might
the
be.
playthroughs. Y'all want to talk about that at all?
oh yeah, we do have some guitar playthroughs, drum playthroughs coming out soon. That might be out when this comes out. So,
YouTube?
Yep.
We're on YouTube,
On the
Instagram.
Sunmancer YouTube.
Yep.
and
Sunmancer
Instagram,
YouTube.
yeah.
Yep.
They look
Yeah.
awesome.
They look really good. Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like
Fantastic.
an angel.
Yeah.
He's illuminated.
Our friend Kyle did that.
Yeah, we're gonna trick
Something
people into thinking that we're actually good guitar players.
Nah, we've already fooled him.
You guys are great guitar players. man.
But we'd love to do some shows with you, man. Like both of your bands. I
Just
wanted to
you,
do.
though, on
I wanted to
stage,
do
just
that
you.
with this show tonight, but the powers that be didn't let that happen.
That's right.
Yeah, dude.
Powers
it's-
above
it's
us.
Hard, it's hard to overcome the powers that be, man.
That's right. Yeah.
It'll happen when it needs to happen, man.
I mean, I saw you guys got a pretty sweet bill coming up, right? With was it Ritual Killer?
Autumn Lies Buried.
Yeah, man. That
Oh,
was,
nice.
Yeah.
That was like it was
Autumn
Clockwise.
Lies Buried just played like the Union Bar that I go to, like,
Oh,
like
yeah?
on Friday lunch.
Yeah, they've
Pretty
been on the
badass.
show and
Yeah,
they've been
dude.
on the podcast. They're a really fun
Nice.
group of guys.
Nice.
They put on a great show, man. Like,
Yeah,
what
So
they
those
do
would be a
is
good turnout, right?
fantastic. I think so, man.
Oh, yeah. That's your
Um,
first show with your band.
Yeah,
right?
my band Zaphon. We put out a record earlier
Zaphon,
this
baby.
year.
Nice.
How much was it to get those pressed? Because we're thinking about whether or not we should do CDs
To
for
do
ours.
CDs, it's about $500 for 100. It's $5 a CD.
Is that what
Nice.
it was with the door?
That's what I
Yeah.
paid.
That's about, yeah.
Yeah.
The more you order, but I got a box of these sitting around. If anyone wants to buy one,
Hey, it's a limited run. Get them while they last.
Super, well, that's how it's
That's
advertised on Bandcamp,
Yeah,
right?
That's
Super
right.
limited,
That's
dude.
right. Yep.
Only 100 ever made. I have tapes too, but
Nice.
Like
but-
a true death metal guy.
yeah,
I
if
like
you
it.
guys are watching the show and you want to see Zaphon, Zach Dean, the drummer from Alluvial, and he's going to be drumming in another big
Oh
band.
no way, dude!
Next
Zach
year.
is
Nice.
extremely good.
Zach's
dude.
rips.
amazing, man.
Yeah, he
All I
rips.
did was reach out and say, "Hey, do you want to play a show?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'm
Dude,
free
you
this
could have
day."
been on this show with us.
Dude, yeah, that's cool.
So
Man.
yeah, Zach's gonna be playing that show. We did a brief little lineup change very recently. So there will be a different guitar player playing with me that I'm really excited to announce as well. I'm not gonna do that just yet, but
Is it Wes?
come out.
It's West Hawk, isn't
It's
it?
not West.
Yes, it is. You heard it here.
So it's just a good homie of mine, and it just made a lot of sense. So yeah, come to that show. That's at Dark Matter, November 9th. Shuttle City booking. But yeah, drop your socials, guys. You want to drop yours, Kyle?
Yeah, sure. So my social is at kmaslick
And where?
on Instagram.
Just interwebs. K-Bass.
Just
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
the
just
internet.
Google
Here's Big
at
Brother
Kmaslick.
over here
I'll
making
put
sure
some
he's-
on-screen text for you guys.
Nice,
So
nice.
Yeah, I don't have Facebook. So
Yeah,
You did TikTok, right? No, that's just the band.
yeah.
yeah. Mine's just Instagram at jharlanatl.
My Insta is dan.nels. I'm not super active, but every once in a while I'll be on there.
Yeah.
A little collab.
cool.
J Maslick, Instagram, and I'm on Facebook too. Just look up our last name, Mazlik.
They're the only Maslicks on this
Yeah,
side of the
there's
world.
only
me and my
of us.
brother and our immediate family are the only people on there with that last name. So you'll
Polish?
find
So
us.
follow them too.
It's
Slovak.
Slovak. Okay.
And,
Very cool.
Yeah, Croatian. Yeah.
Excellent.
This is embarrassing. My Instagram the name is DrumDad USA.
That's not embarrassing at all.
It's been like that for so long. I can't change it now.
You shouldn't, man.
Drum
Yep.
Daddy.
I tried to
shred
get him to
riffs,
change it to the
so-
Gentle Giant, but DJ Gent, and he didn't go for it. So
I've committed to the bit for this long. I gotta just ride it out. I guess.
Heck yeah. And what's the Sunmancer Instagram?
just
It's
add
just
Sunmancer, yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Same
get into
with-
it.
Yeah, same with Facebook and TikTok, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thanks again for coming all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to Clarksville. It's quite a haul. I wish you all the best with everything, all the upcoming tunes and releases and shows. Super hyped to see you guys play tonight. It's gonna be sick. If no one else is moshing, I will be swinging some limbs.
There we go, dude. That's what I like to
And
see.
I'll be,
Yep.
you know, now
Doing
that I'm
some donkey
a
kicks.
200-pound, 30-year-old dude, I can really mess some of the, you know,
For a short
Littler
short
kids
burst,
up.
I'm
Right.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. Until we're like,
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I moshed for the last band that played with us, like that played right before us, and I was like, okay, I can't do that anymore.
15. I got about 15 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
We got more riffs than the open breakdowns though, so you get a lot more chances to just sit there with
Sit
the
there and
drop.
wait.
Just
Heck yeah.
sit there and wait and bob your head a little
That's
bit.
my style.
Yep,
All right.
yep.
Well, this concludes Shred Sessions episode 12. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like the video, comment, follow all these guys, and I'll see you in the next one.